Oh, hey man, I didn't see you come in.
Oh, yeah, I just
Hey, I'm
walked in.
glad I'm glad you made it though. I'm pretty sure the outside is calm, like no death claws, no anybody. You made it
I
out
th-
a okay.
I think half the city is on fire, but that's common, you know.
It's okay. That's just New Vegas. Anyways,
Uh,
let me show you around the safe house actually. So right here that you're looking at right now, this is the storage kitchen I call it. It's guns and armor that I got from my travels. I made some carrots and potatoes, so you can have that if you want.
oh, oh,
There's also like a snacking area. You got stim pack, psycho, jet, some stim packs, um, some food, and of course a stim pack. They're really good, but don't use too many. If you use like 10, I heard you can like have a super like hallucinogenic like trip. Don't ask me how I know that.
oh, oh, sweet! I found an extra stim pack.
Oh, okay, give me that. Okay. Anyways, now we have the drinks. I got Nuka Cola, some bitter drinks. I got wine. Just yeah, a little something I got from my travels.
Uh, Very nice, very nice.
All right. Over here now is going to be the bedroom. It's just all beds, and I sleep in one of them. Usually a person comes by every now and then, but they just leave. They don't want to stick around with me for some reason. Uh,
So normally I would just like run onto one of these beds and just fall asleep right away because I'm a cat. But I know that you have something planned for me, so we're just gonna keep going.
yeah. Well, that's the thing. The generator. This is just a generator. Somebody should be coming by like after we're done here. I think. I don't know. They usually do, but yeah. And that's it. That's the whole like safe house. It's much of a safe shack than it is a house, but I mean it's what it is. So come on, let's just let's just sit down here. We got
Yeah, let's
our
just relax.
sit on these stools. Let's just relax for a bit. Basically just have a drink.
Uh, you can
What?
have wine. I'll take Nuka Cola. You know me, I don't drink.
I'll mix both. Nuka
Fair
wine.
enough. Wasn't
What?
like rum and coke like a big thing back in the olden days?
Oh yeah, like I think it still is. Just rum is very expensive to find, or hard to find, really. I mean,
Yeah, good point.
I could try bitter drink, call it bitter cola. No, that's a good idea, actually.
Ooh.
You you want to talk about how the gaming industry is crashing?
Yeah, sure.
All right. You know, we got a game of the year coming up at the Game Awards soon.
I am.
Yep, Donald Trump's real estate tycoon.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I wonder how he's doing.
Doing good. I hope. I'm assuming anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't see him much since Home Alone 2. He was really great in it.
Oh man, he was great in that movie. He's probably doing okay.
Yeah, he's probably doing a lot better than the gaming industry, honestly.
Hmm.
Have you like seen the news of like almost every day this past like 2 weeks? There's been like hell, I would even say like 3 weeks. It's been like nothing but controversies of like gaming. It's like it's really bad.
Oh yeah.
Like oh my gosh, I think the AAA side of things is like really cracking
Well, the one.
down.
Well, the one that I think that like. Well, I don't know if it really kicked it off because really this has been going on for a long as. But I think the thing that really like kicked it off for us was when Microsoft closed down Tango GameWorks.
um, I would say before that, I would say like this was like during when PlayStation was like doing that what was it? It was that bullshit thing that was going on with like Helldivers 2. They were like gonna have
Mhm. Oh,
mandatory PlayStation Network accounts.
yeah, you had to link because because they own Helldivers too. So they basically said look, this is a PlayStation property. You need to link it up to a PlayStation Network account in order to play this game,
And
even though the game's on Steam. You know,
it got pretty bad because I think it was like 177 countries like don't have PlayStation Network
they
accounts
do
because like
not. They do not.
so basically this would have killed the game, but the community was so powerful that not only did they revert did PlayStation revert the rules like, hey, you know what, we're not doing it. I heard like they've been like slowly getting the countries to like be on to be able to play Helldivers 2. So it's like
See,
that's pretty funny.
I heard that they were actually pulling the game from those particular
Now
countries,
they
or
did. They did, but they actually started to like pull them back in because people were complaining too much.
okay.
So like
So
Sony got a good kick in the balls with that one. And they
Sony got caught with their tail between their legs, as it were.
yeah, and then there was the Microsoft thing with Tango Gameworks and Arcane Austin and the other two gaming developers. One was for Mighty Doom. It was that what was it? A mobile phone Doom, something like that, like a running gun or something. And then I forgot what the other one was. I think they did a bit of work on Elder Scrolls. I don't know which one. Elder Scrolls
Uh,
Online, I think.
I'm gonna have to look it up.
I'll have to. I'll probably find it somewhere later down the road. But like, yeah, it was like pretty bad. And then
Alpha Dog Games.
yeah, yeah,
That was that was
I remember because Matt Booty, I think, like said their name wrong and then said the name of the DLC. Not even DLC. I think he just yeah, it was DLC for like the Elder Scrolls Online. He titled it wrong. He in the letter that like told everyone like, hey, you're all fired. He basically just fumbled words. Like, oh, what
okay.
an asshole.
Okay, so I'm looking it up, and I saw the studios in question: Arcane Austin, as previously mentioned, Tango GameWorks, Alpha Dog Games, and then Roundhouse Studios getting absorbed into ZeniMax Online Studios. Now, Roundhouse Studios is interesting in that I don't think they ever actually produced a game under that name.
I don't know. I know one of the studios like had to move into a building, but the other three were fired. And we know
Uh,
that it was Arcane
but
Austin and Tango.
but notably, Roundhouse Studios was actually formed essentially from the ashes from Human Head Studios, the same people behind the first-person shooter Prey.
Yeah. Man, that's fucked up.
Uh,
Like, goddamn, that's fucked up.
yeah, it's pretty
They
fucked
can't.
up.
It's like it's even worse because it's not even Bethesda that did it. It was just Microsoft. I think it's like pretty upsetting, just like how these big corporations are just like. All right, this is just a theory that I've had. I think I brought it up before, like during like many chats with us and the boys. But like, did we like did I mention like I have a theory that like they're purposefully like Sony and Microsoft, they're slowly killing Xbox and PlayStation because it's becoming way too expensive to keep them. Because they're making like very little profit, but yet they're demanding so much.
Well, when you think about it, there's kind of I mean, especially with Microsoft, there's a big incentive to try to kill off Xbox because when you think about it, they have like a bunch of studios basically at their contract at their
Yeah,
disposal to make all these games, but also they have to make the hardware.
yeah, the
The Xbox,
hardware and they're just being slow with like game development. Like, I get that you want to like, let people do what they want to do, but like you kind of have to like push them to do it. Like, not like forcefully push them, but like just kind of like not just check in saying, "Hey, how you doing?" Just more of like opening the door, like, "Hey, can we like talk? Can we get a situation of what's going on?"
you
Just
know,
be
Oh,
Y-
sorry. Go ahead.
no, I was just saying like just being loose with it is like it's not good. It's nice, but it's not good because you gotta
And
get
I
people excited.
and I mean, I think it's pretty obvious to say. I think it's going to get worse as time goes by. You know, it's funny though. A common joke that I think has been going on since like Wii, really, is that Nintendo kind of has this slight running gag where their newer systems are kind of a bit behind spec wise compared to their competitors.
Yeah, they are. I remember the Nintendo Switch launch era. It's
Yeah,
kind of funny nobody even talks about that anymore because
the s-
Nintendo fanboys are trying to bury it.
the Switch, like like the Wii U was just about PS3 and Xbox 360 quality when the PS4 and Xbox One were about to launch, and then as the Nintendo Switch comes out, and it's like, oh yeah, we're about on par with the PS4 and Xbox One, kind of, a little bit.
Constant like it's like not even like the Joy-Con drift, but like the switches don't even work. Like
You,
I think it was Chrome Cat that had a whole video of like a compilation of all of the problems happening on like Switch when it was like in the first like weeks of it like being released to the public.
it, man, I might have missed that video.
It's his most popular video because it's like I think it's like I think maybe second or first. He's got the Mario Odyssey like one. He's got the Ubisoft one.
I remember the Ouya one was pretty popular,
Oh
or
yeah, because that
or maybe
thing's a
because
piece of
I
shit.
rewatched that one. Oh well, yeah, of course. Duh.
Yeah, I rewatched that too. I rewatched that one in like the Lawbreakers one.
Oh, Lawbreakers, that one.
Speaking of Lawbreakers, it's kind of funny how like there's a game
Oh,
that's coming
actually,
out. Oh yeah.
I do apologize. I was getting somewhere with the Nintendo thing. I wonder if that is like something that Nintendo is purposefully doing because they kind of realize, okay, they can't constantly be making money off of this, right?
Um,
Like all these higher specs and stuff like that. Like
I
that's
heard the Switch is like really hitting it big, but like maybe it is like just they're not going very expensive with like the specs and everything, like how
well, I think
Xbox and
well,
PlayStation are.
well, I think that's what I'm thinking is like Nintendo. We can criticize their like technical prowess. I mean, seriously, when you have performance issues for fucking LA Noir on the Switch, you've got some problems. But
Yeah.
credit where credit's due, like with the exception of the Wii U, obviously, they have like a variety of systems like during that time frame that did sell well. They have like audiences
Oh
for
yeah.
them,
Like
like
Nintendo like still makes bank from like the stuff that they sell.
they still make bank, and I wonder if like them using slightly lesser technology is actually beneficial for them in the long run because like when you're having like when the PS5 first launched, and I think it's still a thing. It might still be a thing today. I'm not entirely sure, but I know more people have it now. But
Hmm.
famously, you can find that fucking thing
Yeah.
because all the parts were like in short supply. And they were,
Yeah.
and it was ridiculously expensive. Nobody, and also like nobody had one, and very few games were really made that really warrant you having it. And to this day, that's still a thing. Like most of the games that would be great as like PS5 exclusives, you could probably just play on PC. Real talk.
Yeah. That's pretty much where that's pretty much where it is. It's like I think it's also like the thing with Nintendo. It's like I don't think they make their games like stupidly expensive. Like they don't like have a huge budget on these games. Probably like maybe like max, I would say like 5 million, not like 100 million plus of
I think
budget.
I think if they do give a bigger budget to a game, it's only because like it's a property and it's a certain type of title that they know will sell like that well. Like Super Mario Odyssey. Like that's
Yeah,
a very beautiful game and a very big open game. But that's a 3D Mario platformer. It's like, man, no shit, that's gonna sell like millions. It's like,
yeah,
fucking
yeah,
go ahead.
yeah. It's like that's the thing with with PlayStation and Xbox. It's like they're just making these games like well, PlayStation mostly is. I know PlayStation like just puts a lot of money into like their games, and it's like it feels so unnecessary. But
It's a
also like if you're okay with Nintendo, you know they're gonna sell well, so it's like yeah, they'll make their money back. But with PlayStation, it's kind of like do they make their money back? Because keep in mind, it's not just like development costs, but it's also like marketing costs. So it's like, oh
See,
my
there's kind of a
god,
weird double-edged sword kind of philosophy to that because on one hand, I appreciate the concept of a publisher or as any kind of company willing to put in as much money as they can to whatever weird project comes about. But also, I'm thinking back to sort of the PlayStation 2 era. We'll use that as a prime example.
hmm
That was a genre where Sony like just put out like a bunch of weird games and like bunch of the publishers who were making games for the PlayStation 2 also put out a bunch of weird games, but they were smart with budgeting. Like
yeah,
the Katamari series, for example, like those were more mid-budget games, but th- that was that was fine. It was such an out there concept. It was like you didn't need it to be like a full-fledged AAA game. You could just like get by and just be weird in and of itself. I think the
yeah,
problem is, I think the problem is that Sony and to a certain degree Microsoft they're trying to make all of those kind of weird games the big blockbusters. It's like, no, there has to be a dividing line.
I'd say like back in the 360 era, they were kind of like that, but now it's like you're making it safe and marketable. You're not like going for new. You just want to
You're
stick with the old, like you know.
you had you had stuff that was appealing for the mainstream, but also stuff that was more out there, but could still like lure in bits of the mainstream. Now you're just
Yeah,
trying to make games that are just exclusively for the mainstream. It's like
yeah, you
that's
have
not
to
that,
appeal to like this big group that's making you money, not like, you know, a niche audience. It's like that era is like dead for the AAA gaming side of things. Like it's kind of funny because like mentioning Lawbreakers, I saw like Concord. That was like on State of Play, and it's an Overwatch knockoff. And I saw the tweet that was like, "Yeah, this is gonna fail harder than Lawbreakers," because it kind of had that feeling of it. And it's like it's funny because like Concord
is
clearly
it
is trying to be like the one that Sony wants to push forward with like live service games. But it's funny because you have Astrobot that's like what was it, 99% like ratio on that? Like
yeah,
damn.
it's like super big. I gotta put like a big full disclaimer on this. I have not seen any of the trailers from that new State of Play.
I say bits of it. I've seen like the gameplay footage of like Silent Hill 2 remake. It looks bad. That's
We do have a friend who is cautiously
oh she
curious about it.
she's done with it. As soon as she saw like
Oh,
the price tag, yeah, she was done.
okay, yeah, that's fair.
Like
The price is the
she
price is
thought that like Steam was like gonna be cheaper, but no, it's all $70. 70
yeah
bucks
that
for a
yeah
shit game that like it's gonna be so bad. I'm gonna call it.
guys, hear me out. If you want to play Silent Hill 2, just download the. Okay, listen. There was a PC version made for the game. Just download that. I'm pretty sure it's like abandonware now, or maybe it's on Steam still. I don't know.
What about like Silent Hill 2 Enhanced Edition? Wasn't that made by
Well,
like one guy?
that's what I was getting into. You could get you can get that, and then I don't know if like specific. Maybe you do need. Maybe you don't need Silent Hill 2 separately, but
I don't think you do, but I'd say just check it out. I feel like
yeah,
you know,
Silent Hill 2 Enhanced Edition. It's basically a version of the PC release of Silent Hill 2 made for modern computers, and it works really, really well. I myself have tried it. I I never really played the Silent Hill games as a kid, but I did watch well, friend of ours, play it some time back, and I was really impressed by what I saw of it.
Oh yeah.
Um, Always wanted to check it out, never got around to it, and now I have tried it out a little bit, and it looks really great on uh,
Oh yeah.
modern hardware.
It does. Oh my god. I think it's like pretty embarrassing that like the tier list of it is Silent Hill 2 Enhanced Edition, the Silent Hill 2 movie that's coming out, and then bottom of the barrel it's the Silent Hill 2 remake. The remake looks pretty bad. It doesn't look
So,
that like appealing.
so
It
where does the HD collection fit
Oh, the
into this tier list?
HD collection's like trash. It's like in the dumpster with the source code of Silent Hill 2 and 3. That's where it is. It's mangled
Fair
up.
enough.
It's torn. It's destroyed. We can't talk
Do you
about that anymore. It's no
do you
longer used.
do you think it would be better or worse than the Silent Hill 2 remake game?
Oh, the Silent Hill 2 remake is going to be so bad. And I think that's the thing that's like also interesting to note is like there is not one AAA game that like has piqued my interest. And not only that, but like everyone else as well. Like when it comes to like a AAA release, nobody's like excited for it except like
Like
maybe like this year. I would say this year it's like
Ash,
Black Ops 6. That's the only one that I think kind of intrigued me.
I didn't even realize there was going to be a Black Ops 6. Like I
Yeah,
did.
Black Ops 6 is like that's going on with the Xbox game showcase. That's going to be like after that. I don't know what they're going to show, but it looks pretty interesting. It's about like conspiracy theories pretty much.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Not even to me. You got like fucking Margaret Thatcher, you got George H.W. Bush, Bill Clinton. Like it's so weird. It's like it's all about like conspiracy theories and stuff or something like that. And like yeah, it's so weird.
Margaret Thatcher's appearing in the Call of Duty game, yeah?
I would love to know what this game's going to be about. I would if it like honestly, I would like play it if it because it's coming to Game Pass, which is like yeah, that's going to like kill like Call of Duty sales cuz like what would you rather do between free to like 16.99? What would you pick? You pick for free, wouldn't you? I would. You just
Yeah,
keep
yeah, I picked free, of
Yeah,
course.
exactly. So you get like Microsoft points. It's easy to do, and it's like
It's like a
you could just get like Game Pass Ultimate, or like apparently, I think it's like for Game Pass Core. Maybe I don't know about that, but like, still, like you just God, people can wait. People aren't like gonna get like the deluxe edition or whatever it is to play 3 days early. As long as like they save money, they don't care.
was the Call of Duty series the one where they had like the pre-order bundle? Oh man, remember pre-order bundles? That was crazy back in the day. They still
Pre-order
do that.
bundles still do that. Yeah, they still do that.
But it was like it also involved physical trinkets, which I know I think they do still do that.
They
But
do for like the higher tier ones. Yeah.
of course. Of course. Um I think it was a Call of Duty game. It had like a decorative flask that you couldn't actually use.
World at War. That's what I think it was. It was either World at War or 3. Yeah, you can't use the flask, you can't open it.
It's like motherfucker, you can't even make a flask right. How are you expecting people to like pay full price for your game?
I think that's where I think that flask is what made them like, you know what, let's go for better. Remember you could get like night vision goggles. I think it was for 3 or Ghost. But yeah, one of the pre-order bundles is like, yeah, you can get like night vision goggles. Like
Did they work? Like,
they worked. Apparently they
oh
did work.
shit.
So, yeah. It's so weird.
I
You got like
I mean,
all these like
make,
action figures and like statues and all that. Here it's just like you got fucking goggles. Like night vision goggles.
I mean, hey, credit where credit's due. I mean, if it works.
I remembered that one back in the old days, like EA. I
Kind
think it
of,
was EA. They were doing like the Godfather games, if you remember those.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Have you heard about the Godfather 2 pre-order fiasco? Or not pre-order,
Was
but like the journalist fiasco because they
was that the
uh,
was that the one with the fucking, oh God, what are they called? Like
brass
it's something
knuckles.
that brass knuckles. Yes,
Yes, they
thank you.
sent brass knuckles to journalists who were like gonna review the game, and like
They didn't
apparent
realize that
they were
brass knuckles were banned in some states.
so they were basically becoming weapon manufacturer weapon dealers. So they have to like say, look, just mail it back, just mail that shit back. I don't think anyone has kept it, or maybe some did, like in the states that it is legal, but I don't know.
I want to know, like, I want to meet the journalists who kept those brass knuckles. That would be fucking incredible.
Oh man,
You think
like
they,
they wear it
you think they have them like framed on their wall?
framed on their wall. Definitely, especially with it being like Godfather related. Like, yeah, that's definitely like on the wall somewhere. Probably next to like the Godfather trilogy set, just right there. Just it would be look so badass.
Y- Yeah.
Oh man, but you see what I mean? It's
Uh,
like back then it was so fun. Now it's just becoming like just battle royales, battle passes. It feels like that creativity, that flow of it. It feels like it's becoming like decayed in like the AAA side of things. Like I feel like it's about ready to pop. Like
I
that
think we're,
side is gonna pop. Not the game industry
I
as a
think it's,
whole, but like it's
I
got
think it's just
little
become too
prints.
cynical. It's too jaded.
Yeah, it's becoming
That's
too similar. It's becoming like too similar to one another because you got too many
not just
open.
similar. I just mean like
Well, like
low
what I mean.
energy. You know,
Well, yeah, but like
like
what I mean
it's
is like they go for like either big narrative driven story and it's like huge, or it's an open world experience. And I feel like it's kind of getting dull. People just want to play like a fun game. That's where like indie developers come
yeah,
in.
just that's where the indie developers. There's some good and some bad ones out there. But say what you want to, 9 times out of 10, they're like, we're just trying to make fun games here.
Yeah, like Crow Country was a game that like me and our friend had played. She like loved it, and I was like watching her like play this, and it was like really good. And then I went to like Wikipedia because I was like, who were the people that made it? Because that name sounded familiar. They're the people that made Haunt the House. So I was kind of shocked that like these developers that were like very cutesy little game, like ooh, scare the people. It's like it's genuine like terrifying horror. It's like the most disturbing game I've ever seen because from it being like a PS1 style, it's like it just adds on that unsettling nature to it. It's got a good story as well. I think like if you really want a good story in a horror game, just just play that. I think it's like between 20 27 bucks, somewhere around there. I say get it. Um did there's
You
like
know,
I just noticed like there's a lot of horror games that like have really made a killing and they're all from like indie developers like Shipwrecked 64.
ooh, yeah. Oh God. Actually, speaking of Crow Country, there was another one, Catastrophe Crow, I think it was. That one actually came out just fairly recently.
Yeah.
That one's also like an N64 style
Man.
horror game.
Man, it's gonna be so
Uh,
weird. It's gonna be
I
so
know.
weird just because of like how there's like so many like there's Little Kitty Big City. I played that one. It's good. That's not a horror game, but like it's an indie game.
Yeah, like, yeah, that's the best horror game.
You just play as like this black cat terrorizing the town of Japan.
Could you could you imagine like a horror game, but the monster is like just a cat?
Well, they technically did do that. Poppy Playtime Chapter th- 3, 3, 3.
I don't know. I
I
kept
don't
I
know.
lost track after.
I don't know. I think they're gonna try too hard. They're gonna make something like pretty stupid and too mature for like their kid audience. They'll do something with it.
I mean,
Uh,
I guess technically speaking, we would have to include that, in our indie game horror discussion thing, Poppy Playtime.
oh, and Garten of Band Band. Don't forget about that one. It's
I still have no fucking idea what Garden of Banban even is,
I don't
and
even know
I'm a
either, but like people are like saying it's a good game now, and I'm like, oh god, is this like Cyberpunk all over again? Like, are people just
is the
forgiving
guy
them?
is it the fucking Choo Choo Charles? That's another one.
Yeah, yeah,
Aren't aren't they friends with
yeah,
Garden of
yeah. Choo
Banban?
Choo Charles was actually in one of their games. Like, they were like, hey, can we put Choo Choo Charles in it? They said sure.
I mean, hey, if they're close enough, I guess go for it.
Man, I was kind of hoping they stole it, but no, since they're friends, it's like, oh, there's no lawsuit. These brothers are gonna be fine. Is it's very clearly they made it for profit and not passion. But they got away with it. One day,
Just
one
just
day.
just just so y'all who are listening to this know, Spazzy's the kind of guy who likes to see like people that he considers not very pleasant to burn in the flames of Hades.
Yes, because it's like
Which is fair. I don't think that's an invalid argument
people
on
are
your behalf.
getting away with too much stuff. We gotta quit like supporting them. You can't say that like CD Project Red is good again when like this isn't like the case with like Hello Games with No Man's Sky. Like Sony kind of screwed up No Man's Sky, but it's like this was a small team. I think it was like at the time like maybe 7 to 10 people. CD Projekt Red has like hundreds of people, and they were only releasing the game very early because of shareholders. Like they didn't fix the game because they cared about the gaming community. It was because we're gonna get sued up the ass. Let's try to like fix this before it gets worse. I hate that. I hope like people that support CD Projekt Red like lose their money when The Witcher 4 becomes like a broken mess and Kurt is so unplayable you have
God
to refund it.
damn! Calm
No,
down.
no, if you keep nah, I like that's the thing. Like I've seen people like defending like Ubisoft and Xbox and PlayStation. I'm like, have you seen what they're doing? It's like I feel like it's just like Jesus. It's like we're getting cooked. The gaming industry is getting cooked. Like damn.
I mean, Spazzy, okay. I don't
Okay. Look,
like. I guess we could. I don't know if he can. I don't know if you consider this guy a friend, but we know this guy who is a big Disney stan.
yeah, I know.
So
He's one of those like adults who are young at heart. It's like that.
you know,
It's like that. It's like that. But I don't know. It's like you gotta like understand that like these corporations are like really they don't care about you. These companies will not care about you. They will only fix your game because they do not want to get sued. Like there's a
that,
huge difference between like developers that care and like the developers and publishers that like to screw you over. Like multiverses, that's a good example. Like the whole thing about it is like it was like what are the developers called again?
uh,
Players First Games or something like that.
uh, wait, developers of what? Spazzy?
And this is what I like to call the Nintendo shit cube.
Oh, multiverses. Okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
multiverses. The whole thing about it is like how um when did they release? Like 2022, 2023?
Uh,
When did they
20.
release?
So the early access and open beta were both in 2022.
Okay.
And then the full release wasn't until 2 years later in 2024.
Okay, so a whole fucking year of just nothing. And they like brought it back because no, they didn't even bring it back like in 2023. They never made that announcement. They just brought it back when
They
Suicide
they
Squad
clo
like failed. Like
they
what?
closed the open beta period in 2023.
Yeah, but nobody knew it was like, you know, an open beta. They kind of they knew, but they didn't expect it to like close. They didn't like know about that. which is weird to do. Like you're charging money for these 2 seasons, and it's like, nah, we're shutting doors. It's like, God, it just ruins like, you know, that's kind of like what happened with Helldivers 2. It just ruins like relationships between the developers and the
It
community.
it killed any positivity that
The
like you had
goodwill,
garnered. Goodwill, yes,
yes,
basically.
but yeah, it's like just now when you look at video games today, it's just soulless. It's just lifeless. There's nothing
I thought
really there to do. It's just
I thought I
there.
thought you were gonna go into the fucking Family Guy thing. It seems today that all you see is violence in movies and sex on TV. Like the fucking like violence in video games and sex in video games also.
Oh no, sex and violence in video games that will like come back in GTA 6, I think.
Jack Thompson will just like rise from the ashes. Is he
No,
still alive?
I don't even know. I honestly like. Okay, you know what's pretty bad? It's like I kind of understand why he was like this because he makes much more sense compared to these other people that like try to dunk on GTA 6 for some reason. It's very weird. it's I I don't know what to say, but yeah. Um, there is one thing I forgot. You want to talk about also the showcases that are coming out and how soulless they're gonna be?
Oh man,
They're not gonna be good.
I'm just
Like,
so I have multiple jobs going on. I know you have a job, so I don't know how much of those I'm going to actually be able to watch, but I'm just going to. But I know for a fact I will be able to see like Twitter feeds and social media and Blue Sky feeds and all that stuff, and I could just imagine everybody's just going to be like, "Well, this fucking sucks." You know what I
yeah,
mean?
like this is not going to be like I'm gonna be like free from work for those days, but like I could just tell that like they are just not gonna be as interesting because it's like with State of Play, it was really bad. Like only one good game, and that was Astrobot, and that was it.
Yeah.
Everything else was just bland. It wasn't good. It's just I kind of expected it to not be good because it's like honestly, I think it just kind of shocked me. Like they try to pull a Nintendo Direct when Nintendo gets into like major controversy. They have like a Nintendo Direct announced like a couple of days later. They're like, "Hey, tune in tomorrow." They kind of did that, but it didn't succeed. So a lot of people just add more fuel to like the hate train and the fire. It's yeah, it's not good.
Can I say something? You know, like this is almost kind of like a weird, sort of calling back to the deal, like that weird DLC, not DLC,
Pre-order?
pre-order shit that we were talking about.
Yeah.
You know, and also like kind of referring also back to the showcase things. Look, I understand it is the year 2024. We are much more openly mind, like much more aware of the environment that we live in. And I
Yes.
think it's safe to say, Spazzy, you and I are both what we would consider fairly woke people.
I guess, yeah.
We are both individuals who, as we've said before, we respect pronouns. We're pro Palestine.
Yes.
Um, without being anti-Semitic, that is a key rule there. We are not anti-Semitic. Um, and we are respectful to the LGBT community and people of color, all that good jazz. That being said, hear me out.
Yeah.
You think game developers and publishers needed to start like being more offensive more often? Like I mean, just add a little bit of poor taste. Like you remember when Acclaim they were doing like the sequel to Shadow Man Second Coming, and they said, "Hey, to help advertise the game, we could put small billboards onto tombstones." we would pay the relatives of the deceased for the advertising, saying, poorer families might especially be interested in the advertising for Shadow Man 2.
Oh my god. Like
Okay, maybe
two
maybe
two thousands was like really bad for gaming.
2000. This was 2002. I'm not saying we should go that far. Just saying, it wouldn't hurt
It it
to
it was
poke
something.
a little bit.
It was something back in the day of like gaming as a whole. Like it was like I always bring it up, but like Spike TV's Video Game Awards were like peak like 2000s 2010s because of like how it was so like kind of
Just
disconnected from like gaming as a whole, and it was just more of like look
it's
at the
just
boobs, look at the
it
hot babes.
it was just absolute trash in the best possible way.
Yeah, it was. It kind of felt like human. And then when you look at the Game Awards today, it's like soulless. Like that's why I'm not gonna watch next year's. I'll just watch the Dice Awards. I'll probably stream that for you guys. Just like yeah,
Listen,
fuck that. It's like 30 minutes, like 30 to like 40 minutes. So it's like just a quick in and out. That's it.
it's so what we're saying is that more people need to come out and show off their boobs as well, and also appear in black in brown face. That was one of the Game Award things, right? Fucking
Um,
like
Spike TV's Video Game Awards, and I don't
yeah,
remember. It was G4 that did the blackface. Boobs was basically
yeah, that was Spike
Spike
TV. Yeah,
TV. Yeah, that was Spike
that was
TV.
that was their
G
territory.
G4 was blackface and making fun of no, it was blackface, yellowface, and making fun of Japanese people.
G G4 was just like all the racism.
Yeah, it was all the racism all the time.
If you just needed your daily dose of racism, it was just like go into G4, man. We're
Yeah.
here.
Oh
We're here
yeah.
for you.
And then E3 was like pretty golden, honestly. And now we got like Summer Game Fest, which like the showcases like just are. This is the thing that like I believe like showcases are kind of like they're starting to like be very dull because you know you're just like showing something off, but you don't have something that's completed. Like you have to wait years for that to come out. It's like no, I don't want to wait years. I want to wait for like 1 or 2, not 1 year actually, just 1 year. You don't just show off like Fallout New Vegas 2 now in development, and then I have to like wait. It's like yeah, I get excited, but then it's like I have to wait for years for that game to come out. It's like no, like it's like people's attention spans are like degrading quickly. So it's like, come on. Like 1 year at least. Have a game that's like 90% complete and then show it off. That's just how I feel. Just
See,
yeah.
you brought up E3. I was the weird kid. I used to like read about the coverage of the Tokyo Game Shows.
Oh,
Tokyo Game Show,
I keep up
like
with that. I
the
try to.
expos of that, and it's just like, oh man, and it was like great. Like there was a time when Sonic 06 was being hyped to shit. Like I remember just looking at footage of that game, being like, "This is gonna be the greatest game ever made."
And then you play it and it's like Sonic betrayed me. that's just
and then and
that's
then
kind of how I felt.
and then like 15 years later, you play it again. It's like, holy shit, this game fucking rules.
Eh-eh. I say like wait for what was it? I say wait for Project 06 to like
Yeah,
show off
Project
their
06.
thing, and then we could play it. Also, I did a little bit of research before you got here.
Uh-huh.
Apparently PlayStation isn't done showing off their games, so they knew that like their state of play was hot garbage. So rather than try to fix it, they're like, we got more games at Summer Game Fest. So it's like, why do you even have the state of play then? Like just to kind of like tease something?
The state of play was Jim Ryan's idea before he left.
It was like the new CEOs that like are just like ruining their whole. I feel like PlayStation, Xbox are gonna like close their doors pretty like soon if they keep making dumb decisions like this. Like, what was it that dumbass like soon to be CEO said on PlayStation was like, live service games will be PC and PS5, but narrative driven games will have the first game on PC. So PC gamers will have to fork over $500 to buy a PlayStation 5 to continue playing through the game's series. How long do you think
To
they'll
which I
revoke
s-
that?
to which I s- to which I say, I mean, a lot of PC gamers already spend like thousands of dollars on their PCs.
On their own like games, or like their own like computers. They'll wait.
Yeah, so like,
They can wait. Oh, man. But
yeah,
I mean, I guess it's like just with showcases as a whole. There's only like a handful that I liked. There's Day of the Dev, which is about like an indie, stream. I like. I don't know if you watch them. Devolver Digital's showcases.
I don't watch them, but I do keep an eye out. Like whenever there's stuff that's being announced there, like, oh, because Devolver usually has a pretty good track record on like stuff that they have.
Oh yeah, yeah. Like their showcases are wild. Like it's weird. I think it was I know last year's was about Volby, which is like this made up like character that Devolver Digital claimed has been around since the new age of gaming. And he's like this weird looking mascot character. He's like a orange like mouse thing with like one long arm and a big hand. He's so weird looking, and everyone loved that showcase so much that like this year they're going for like a second Volby like showcase to celebrate his 15th birthday. It's so weird. I love their showcases. It's a great like skit that keeps you entertained and also shows off games that like are really solid. So it's like, yeah, that's a good showcase right there. And then uh you got Summer Game Fest. I bring it up because it's like, oh, they are hot garbage. I think it's like I don't know if you've watched it, honestly.
The Summer Game Fest, no, I don't bother with that one.
Yeah, honestly, I should stop watching it because it's like it's always mid. Like from 2020 to 2023, it was always so mid. Like there is some good things in it, but like it's mainly just like cluster. And I don't blame like the developers for it. It's not their fault. I want to put that very like bluntly. It is not the developers' fault that some of them are forced to work on there or some of them just want to put it on there because usually it's like some indie devs that like show off their summer game fest
Yeah,
and that's not a problem, but it's like Jeff Keighley tries to like make this be like a hyped up better version of E3, but like he misses the point of like E3 was big because like okay, the whole thing about like the gaming wars of Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo, PC, they clash together. But for a couple of days, they all meet up at E3, forge like an alliance and say, "Hey, let's have fun." And they all go to like these showcases and like look at Xbox and Bethesda and Ubisoft and Capcom, EA, all that stuff. Like it was like it felt good in a sense because like if the audience was cheering, you get hyped up to cheer.
oh yeah,
That sort of it's that. But like Summer Game Fest, it's kind of like I think they have an audience, but there's so like background noise that like I don't get hyped up with them. It's not as like big as like a huge crowd. So like yeah, I can't really ever get into Summer Game Fest. It's like I think this will be my last one because like if this like turns out to be super like mid, I'm just gonna skip like next year's. I'm not even gonna bother with it. If I could skip like the Game Awards, I could skip Summer Game Fest. But it's like okay,
Je-
tell me if this what were you about to say actually?
I was just gonna say like Jeff Keighley like either disintegrates or forces you to play the game.
He'll like send Hideo Kojima to like kidnap me. It'd be like a Metal Gear Solid reference somehow. It'd be something like that. It'd be something. But I was gonna point out that like it makes sense that like I'll give Summer Game Fest one last shot, but the Game Awards I'm just done with. Like that makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Okay, because I was gonna explain that like Game Awards already has like its own like identity. It's basically very scummy, very anti-developer, and very pro like corporation. And I know for a fact it's going to be like that for this year, so that's why I'm not even going to bother with it. They have to change it
Hmm.
100% of the way in order to like get my interest back and many others because like I'm just waiting for like that year to be like his lowest rated like it's like it's not an increase of viewership, but it's like a decrease. So he won't like brag about it. I pray, but we'll find out. Summer Game Fest, it's like it's a mystery with showcases. You don't know if they're going to be good or bad because sometimes they have good ones, sometimes they have bad ones. It's always like a mix mash of the two. Like you can't tell from like leaks if it's going to be good because sometimes leaks can be real, sometimes they're not. It's based it off of the source, it's based it off of where it came from, it's based it off of like, hey, where did you get this from? How did you get this from? Is it illegal? It's like, you know, it's just yeah. You have to watch showcases just to understand because there might be something that they didn't add. Like
Yeah.
not every leak has the game like talked about because they're like, they can only get so much information before they have to pull out. So yeah, I'm okay with showcases, but it's like just I don't know. Like sometimes Xbox got good stuff, sometimes PlayStation does, sometimes Nintendo does. But it's like with Summer Game Fest as a whole, I feel like that's like the big embodiment of it. And it's like it's exciting to know who's like a partner in it, aka what they're gonna what developer is like gonna show off their games. Like if they're on the list, that means that their game or some big announcement is happening on the Summer Game Fest. That's what it means. That's why I was like excited for like the couple of years, and then I just stopped because it was like, oh, this is so terrible. Like I'll just give it one last shot and that's it. Like gaming as a whole, I feel like has just gotten pretty bland in general from like the
That's
AAA side of
that's why I'm
things.
saying we need to offend people more.
We need indie developers and AA studios who just go back to making like very offensive games. Like bring back like a postal tribute. Bring back like Hatred 2 even. Make Hatred 2 be more violent and more gruesome. Have it be
Look,
more
let's
edgier.
make an homage to the Dead or Alive extreme games, guys. Come on. We as a society need that.
Yeah, it's like come on, like we gotta bring it back. We can't let yeah, we gotta bring it back. If they actually announce it this year, I'm gonna be so mad.
Were you about to say we can't let the SJWs or some shit like
I was
that?
gonna say, okay, I was gonna say we can't let the developers make it because the developers of Dead or Alive are super scummy. But I forgot
Oh
their
yeah, yeah, no,
names.
they're they're big
They'll
pieces of
probably
shit.
charge like $10 for a bikini, like $10 for like all these bikinis, the same way that they charged like I think it was like $1 for like every haircut, every single haircut. It's like oh, it was so bad.
Man,
Oh, I think before like we end like our discussion, we just head out and do our own thing. One thing I'm curious to note is okay, from like good to bad, your predictions of how they'll do. All right,
okay.
Xbox Game Showcase plus a Black Ops 6 Direct. How do you feel? Do you think they're gonna like
You know,
win people
as
over?
as much as we've been critical about Microsoft the past couple of years, I feel like they do have. I feel like Microsoft, whenever they do like game showcases like this, it's kind of like they know they they often hit more so than they miss.
Yeah, I think that's pretty fair. Like, whether it's games that like they own or like games that like is coming to Game Pass, it's always like pretty interesting. Like, I was pretty excited for like Payday 3 because I was like, oh, it's coming to Game Pass. All right, I gotta definitely play that with y'all, and that game was garbage, so I said no to that. Um,
Yeah.
I would say I'd say with the Black Ops 6 Direct, if Black Ops 6 turns out to be really good, I would say good. I'd say they would
Okay.
hit home. Um, okay, Devolver Digital Showcase, I would say is like good because it's like they'll have like a good skit, I'm pretty sure, but it's also like the games that they'll like release or like I feel like it's gonna be like I don't know. Have they ever? I don't. Well, you haven't watched any, but like, well, most of them. I mean, but like, have they ever done like a showcase where like um they announce like a game and then it gets delayed and then they're bringing it back like, oh, here's the official release date for this game. Because they did a they, I, don't- they did a Nintendo Direct like spoof and they called it Delay Direct. All the games that are being delayed, all the games that are being delayed, they announced those. It was like super like on the nose of like Nintendo Direct, and I was like, okay, I gotta watch this shit. This looks funny. But um, I'd say they would do good. How about you?
I'll say it. Like
Yeah, yeah. I think it's like with indie games, they can really pull off some like even if it's like they're like low hitters, like what was that new game that came out? Like Children of the Sun. It's like a very weird like game. Like you play as like a sniper and you're like headshotting people, and I think you can move the bullet. I don't know. It looked weird. It's like even if that one's like their lowest hitting like game, it still makes like attraction. So it's like I'll give it a shot.
yeah.
Uh, I don't think. I think they will do it, obviously, but Nintendo Direct. Do you think they'll do Farmer Direct again?
Farmer Direct. Oh man. Ah, my heart says yes.
Oh, part of me feels like it has to be like Farmer Direct too, because like, oh, that one was so bad. I honestly could not like handle it. It was just, I kept laughing every time they said Farming Simulator RPG. I was like almost I was like red faced and laughing and all that. I was just oh my god.
Like Nintendo Directs go, if they do another one, I think they'll do it all right. Did I just derail the conversation with that statement?
What the fuck?
It's like okay, here's the big one. All right. All right, here's the final one. Summer Game Fest. Do you think that will be mid or not?
I'm only gonna say yes. I think it's gonna be mid, if only because I don't fucking like I said, I don't fucking watch the Summer Game Fest. I'm surprised you do.
I mean, I guess I keep track with it because it's like is this supposed to be like the newest E3 and like this really sucks? Like I miss the old E3 cuz like Jesus, this is like so bland and lifeless. It's so unfun to watch. Like it's not like terribly bad like it just makes me like drone and snore or something like that, but I do feel like it's not going to be like this it's not going to be like this good uh showcase as a whole. I feel like it's just going to be always mid. It's not gonna like get people's like full attention. It's like, why would I watch it when I could just um, follow the Summer Game Fest account, hit notification bell on all, and then just leave it there. I don't even have to watch the showcase because it'll just pop up on my feed every time. So I'll check my Twitter, and there it is. Why would I waste my time with it?
Pretty much, yeah.
Like, I'll give it like this one last chance to like redeem itself, because this is like gonna be the 4th year. So like, if they fuck it up like big time, it's nah. I cannot like continue with it if it's gonna continue to just be mid. It's like, oh, like with Game Awards and Summer Games Fest, maybe in the future. With that latter one, I'll just notification, hit the bell for all, and that's it. I don't have to watch the Game Awards. I could just see like what's being the winner, what's being announced, basically, because I don't. You wasted too much of my time, so I'll give you just little bits of it, like spoonfuls of it, not a whole big like king botch spoon. A literal spoonful. Well,
That worked out pretty well.
yeah. Well, um, I gotta head out. I got like NCR stuff to do. I don't know about you. I
I,
I guess we'll meet up
I'm,
sometime later.
yeah. As for me, I'm probably gonna go run back into my bunker. Um,
Okay.
just
You know,
hide out, talk to myself.
yeah. I guess we'll meet up at Donald Trump's real estate tycoon multiplayer.
Oh hell yeah, man!
All right. I'll see you then.
Are we gonna do like, are we gonna do like a LAN party? I
Sure,
mean,
if
we
you
have to,
want.
right?
Sure.
Yeah,
We'll bring the whole
let's
crew.
do it.
All right. All right.
Alrighty.
All right. Let's get out of here.